Basically, for those who were here earlier, you will have a brief introduction about rainwater harvesting. Rainwater harvesting is simply just collecting rainwater and reuse it for irrigation, for flushing, or for anything you want to use it for. So it's basically saving water. Then you will wonder, why do I need to save water? Water is so cheap, at least in Malaysia, it's very cheap. It doesn't cost you anything to pay for it. You don't usually, it's not like electricity, you don't really pay a lot. So people just waste water. Sometimes they just keep the tap open, keep it running. But do you know that the world's supply of fresh water is actually running out? Already 1 in every 5 has no access to safe drinking water. Every day, there's people dying from not having access to clean water. Therefore, it's really very, very important to save water. Then you will be wondering, how can I save water? Actually, there are many ways that you can save water. From this chart, from this diagram, you can briefly see that you can basically turn off the water when you're brushing your teeth. You don't really have to keep the water running. You can use plants that doesn't require a lot of irrigation. You can take shorter shower and many other ways, or you can even use water efficient feeding where you can get in this hall today. And one of the ways to also save water is to harvest rainwater. So what is rainwater harvesting really? It's basically collecting rain from the roof that you can see, and then it goes through filter and everything and go to your storage tank. And then you feed it back to whatever usage you want to use it for. I'll go into details later. So this is basically the flow chart. You can see first you need a catchment area, be it roof, or it can be ground, or it can be from a facade. And then you go through first flush, filtration, you collect it and go to your storage tank. And after that, distribution, indoor use or outdoor use. I will go through some of the components with you. As you can see earlier, first you have the catchment surface and then you go to your first flush. What is first flush? First flush system is a device that collects the first the surface, the first drop of your rainwater. So it doesn't give a lot of burden to your tank. It clears up sediments, it clears up big particles like leaf, like bird sheets or dust or any bacteria. It will be cleaned by the first flush system. Depending on the usage of your rainwater, let's say you're only using it for irrigation in your garden. Basically, you can just use the first flush system. But if you want to use it for, say for example, the flushing, or you want to use it with any human contact, you might want to filter it further using some of the devices available in the market. It's more sophisticated system. Any design example of rainwater harvesting, is this what you're thinking? Like the old days, you would just get a pail out and collect the rainwater and then you just use it? Not really. So I will show you some of the examples later. This is basically the schematic. You can have an above ground rainwater storage tank. That means you can see the tank. It's not underground. This is like the most typical storage tank. And you can beautify it by having some plants around it, outside your house, and some different design, or even hidden. And these are some of the available rainwater harvesting tank in the market now. It's not so typical anymore. You can have it quite pretty looking. Something like that. And then we have the below ground rainwater storage. So this is basically not visible. This is one of the examples. You can basically see on the diagram on the left that is actually covered with landscape. and cover with some of those pebbles and stone, so you can't really see, but you need to pump it up for usage later. And this is another example of underground rainwater harvesting system. So people will be wondering, I don't really want rainwater harvesting because it's so boring, so ugly looking, it's such an eyesore, I don't like to see the tank. But actually, it does not need to be so boring, it does not need to be so ugly. You can actually play with the design. Just look at this one, like the cutter can make color, use it as a facade design. So it's not necessary normal dowel pipe, black in color or white in color. It can be incorporated into your facade. And this is the one from Singapore actually. So basically you just collect the rain from the top part and channel down through the pipe, and it's a nice feature. And as for storage tank, it's not necessary to use that kind of boring black color storage tank. You can incorporate to your facade as well. So basically that whole thing on the facade is the storage tank, rainwater storage tank. I'll show you some more examples. You can also use it as a water feature. Collect your rain, channel it to your water feature, and then pump it up for other usages. And as for commercial building, taller building, you can actually what we call the building integrated rainwater harvesting system. So you integrate with your current system. For like this example, you use the facade to collect the rain and also the middle part to collect the rain, and you will channel to the pipe and to a tank and then reuse it. And this is another example. And you can also make it into some funky design, for example like a table, like a garden chair. These are all storage tank. Or as a sculpture. I will show you some case study of some of the existing projects that you can see how you can make a nice rainwater harvesting system. The first case study is actually from Phuket. It's a Phuket house. You can see it's a huge house, and this house is actually self-sufficient with water 8 months of the year by just collecting rainwater. That means they are not using Shaba's water, no potable water. So we will see how they do it. As you can see, there's quite a few roof surface they have. So what they do is they collect the rain from the roof and channel it into the tank that I circle in red. It's a huge tank underground, and then they use it for water for everything in the house, including for shower actually. If you would see, let me see if I can point to you. If you can see the top part and the pebbles underground, so that's where all the rainwater will fall into it, and it channel underground to the filter system and then to the bigger tank. This is how they collect the rain. And then they use it for shower and for flushing, for hand wash, for irrigation, and for car wash as well. So that's how they save a lot of potable water. Case study 2. So earlier we talked about not having boring design. So this is how you can actually design your roof. You can see the rain is just basically channeling down to the hole there, and it will fall to the pebble and channel to a bigger tank. And at the same time, it serves as a filtration system as well. It filters off the big particles. And this is another case study. This is a Switzerland embassy. You can also see how they design the roof and then just collect the rainwater like that. The last case study that I would like to share with you is KKR2. I'm not sure how many of you have seen this building. It's actually in KL. is the new headquarters of JKR. It is almost completed. You can basically see the building. So this building has done a very good job in saving their water. In fact, they are saving up to 65% in total of their potable water. And this building is going for GBI Platinum. So just like PV, it's useless for you to install PV if you don't save electricity in the first place. Similar concept for rainwater for water. If you don't save water, what is the point to collect rainwater? And there are many steps to save water, as I mentioned. As for building, I would like to share with you what is the first step that we usually use. First is to select water efficient features. Instead of single flush, you select dual flush system, WC. So you limit the flow rate and you use less water. Next is to select water efficient plants. Select plants that you don't have to take care of it a lot. You don't have to water it every day. You can basically do it once in 2 days, something like that. That way you can save water and use drip irrigation, rainwater sensor, system like that to save the water further. And then you reduce potable water consumption by utilizing condensate water from all AHU. Actually, condensate water is quite clean. You don't have to clean it further. Of course, you can't drink condensate water, but you can collect condensate water and use for everything you want to. And then you recycle grey water. The previous speaker has mentioned a little bit about grey water, so I'm sure all of you are aware of what grey water is. But just to elaborate a little bit further, grey water is basically wastewater from your shower, from your washing tap. So all this grey water you can collect and then treat it and reuse it. And then lastly, rainwater harvesting. So for KKR building, like I mentioned earlier, building integrated system. Instead of normal roof, conventional roof that serve no purpose other than being a roof, if you know what I mean, they actually design the roof in a way that it can catch most of the rain, and then let it flow by rainwater downpipe to the tank. In addition to that, they're also collecting rain from the facade. So by doing that, they basically save water up to 66%. They basically collect rainwater, condensate water, and use it for cooling tower, for wash basin, for WC, and for general washing, and of course also for irrigation. Yep, this is another case study I would like to share with you. This is from a large development which consists of 5 buildings for 1 parcel. So basically each tower they will collect their grey water and then they treat it. I don't think you can see from this schematic. Maybe I show you the next one. Okay, you can see clearly here. So you collect the rainwater and you collect the grey water, you treat it, you filter it, and feed it back for irrigation. And this building has actually, this whole parcel has actually achieved 30% reduction by just using this kind of technology or just harvesting rainwater. I can give you a rough estimation. It's not so say for example for the tank itself, it usually costs you around 10,000 ringgit to 20,000 ringgit. Yeah, it's not that cheap. And for the system itself, it will also cost you another 10,000 ringgit for the system. If let's say you want to use it for like you mentioned, flushing and for cleaning, that will cost you a little bit. But if you're only using it for irrigation, then you can get it around 10,000 ringgit for the whole system, because it's just using normal first flush system. So like I mentioned earlier, water is so cheap. A lot of people, they don't see the purpose of reusing water. They don't see the purpose of saving water. But it's a good practice. It is a good practice. If you talk about payback period, of course it's not very, very interesting. But water is life. Wastewater, you have grey water and you have black water. Black water is basically the big particles, the one coming out from your WC. Grey water is the one from wash basin and from shower or from cleaning. That doesn't require very sophisticated treatment system, let's just say that. So the system itself, there are many types available in the market. I will show you one example. They just have a normal filtration system. It's called ultrafiltration. So it goes through and it cleans it, and then when it comes out, it's actually up to standard air water. Standard air meaning it's safe for human contact. It's basically clear water.